individuals are on a growth journey. Everyone is journeying.
You will not be able to impact other people if you don't impact yourself. It's how you are able now to connect with people who have similar interests. Because once you are clear, then you become, again, what I said earlier, a lighthouse for other people.
So as I'm bringing this person along, am I on the journey 100%? Am I facing the same struggles that humans do? 100%.
Yes.
But the beauty is, I'm steps ahead, or I know how to do it.
The bottom line is service to humanity, that you must start with yourself, the internal. And once you sorted out with the internal, now you can go to the other people, isn't it?
Yes.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to our today's program, Unveiled. We are such humbled to be having you on your screens. Great evening to have a great conversation here with some awesome guests. I'm glad that you are able to find time to watch our show. This is an amazing opportunity for us to speak to some gentlemen here and to be able to learn from one another. So, gentlemen, karibuni to the show. We request that we may introduce ourselves from our extreme right.
Okay, thank you. James, it's very nice to be here as always. My name is Ernest Nyingi. I am a legacy leadership consultant, execution coach. I find a lot of pleasure, as I keep saying, on just helping individuals to be successful, to lead, and to leave a legacy.
Wow.
Glad to be coming to contribute.
Great. Karibu sana Ernest Nyingi. You've been such a great contributor to these conversations, and this show is forever grateful for your generous input to these conversations. Karibu sana. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Thank you so much for hosting me. Bikindo Onyari is my name. I'm passionate about people development, and I express this through coaching, training, and facilitating. So I've been in this space for the last 15 years,
Wow.
supporting and enabling people
Yes.
to live a meaningful life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Another coach coming across this board. We are so grateful, Mr. Bikindo and Ernest, for coming on this set to be able to have a great conversation. And my name is James Ireri, viewers, and welcome to this to the show. So, gentlemen, in our previous conversations, we've always had passion, especially now we are almost approaching the end of the year, isn't it? A moment to take time to reflect, to be able to reorganize, to be able to take audit, isn't it? To be able to go through the feedback we've been getting through the year, isn't it? So we are we are in the last quarter of the year, and we need to talk to men and bring them to speed that the year is here, and we can only become better if we take stock of our previous time, isn't it?
Yeah.
So today we'll be talking about a very interesting conversation about living a purposeful and meaningful life. And I will throw it to Ernest because he's very passionate about purpose. He's one of the gentlemen who always tells about when you don't know about the purpose of a tool, you're bound to abuse it, isn't it? So Ernest, please kickstart us for that conversation, bringing us up to speed of where we are at, especially with this generation, and where men are at right now, and what they can do to fulfill their purpose.
Thank you. Yes, definitely. Purpose is definitely a great conversation every time.
Yes.
I think as you meet with people, and especially men, as they do life, it's always interesting when you ask them, so why are you doing what you're doing? And whether they are very good reasons or bad ones, everyone does something for a very particular purpose.
Yes.
So when you bring the idea of just the whole idea of manhood and why we're existing, it is vital. And as you close the year, people are able to take stock and ask themselves, did I live well this year? Did I fulfill? The goals I had, are they meaningful? Have I made any difference? So it is a great conversation to have. And I think I always begin that conversation by letting people know that if I have a phone,
yes.
this is a phone.
Yes.
Well, with this phone, it has a very specific purpose.
True.
And it could be, and the main reason why maybe a phone was created is for communication.
Yes.
But you can do very many other things right now. You can play music, you do all those things. But if I have this as a gadget for playing music, and its intention was for me to communicate, then there's a problem.
Yes.
So we end up having to help men discover and ask themselves, am I doing the very main things why I was created? Additions are good.
Yes.
But, you know, am I sticking to the main reason why? You know,
Yes.
like for the phone, the basic deal with the phone is communication.
Yes.
Okay? But is it that I can't enjoy a game? I can. It can give me some delight, some pleasure. I can watch a movie.
Yes.
But to remember what was the main reason. So helping men figure out that. And I think every man must be able to figure out, both for their lives, both for the work that they do, for why they have a family, why they have children. They're important things. Men need to be able to say, so this is my wife for this
Yes.
particular reason.
Yes.
When that is not clear, again, we say, you know, abuse is imminent. Yeah, we will mess up with things when we don't know why they're existing. I can use this phone to drive a nail through any wood.
Yes.
Yes, okay. And I will mess it because it wasn't made, you know, the structure of this phone was never meant to actually, you know, act as a hammer.
Yes.
But because I don't have clarity, then I'll end up messing. But once we have that clarity, then things become easy. So men must discover why they are there, the key important areas in their lives.
Wow. You've just introduced some few dimensions, and I think I will ask our guest here, Bikindo, our coach, to be able to carry on from there. But before he does that, I probably want to borrow from what you are just building and saying that purpose, every tool may be having other diverse usages, okay? But there is the higher importance. Isn't that what you are saying? The higher importance of every tool to be able to function to fulfill a certain purpose. And as you are ending your conversation, you talked about the hammer.
Yes, yes.
And you know when they say that a man who has only a hammer sees everything is supposed to be done what? to be nailed. Yeah?
To be
So if your tool is only the hammer, everything you see around, you want to nail it.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Welcome to the conversation.
It's very interesting. We're talking about purpose, and what came to mind when you're asking.
Yes.
And Ernest was expounding on that. Is I remember this saying, Swahili saying.
Yes.
Bendera ufata upepo.
Yes.
And you know, like if we are like flags, we'll follow the wind.
Okay.
So we must purpose really grounds us to be able to know where we are going.
True.
And to be able to be aware what we were meant to do. And that will form sort of like a lighthouse.
Yes.
That whenever we are distracted, whenever we are hit by life or challenged by life,
Yes.
we are able to come to the lighthouse to direct us where we are.
Yes.
Yes. So as much as we might have purpose, I mean, there are things that happen in life.
True.
Because life is not from one point to another, but rather in terms of the experiences.
Yes.
But what is important is to be able to reflect and say and check: are we on the right, or are we on the right course?
Yes.
Yeah. And if the course is clear, if you are grounded very well on the course,
yes,
then wherever we have a distraction, wherever we stumble,
yes,
and even whenever we have success, we are able to connect that to the lighthouse, which is our purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. I think to resonate what you are saying, the lighthouse is our true north.
Yeah, yes.
God being our true north, because He's our creator, isn't it? And having that foundation, that knowing that He who called us is faithful. Ideally, everyone was sent, or everyone has an assignment to do, isn't it? But Ernest is also passionate about execution.
Yeah.
And he's that gentleman who talks about do something at least. You remember the conversation we had of the camera?
Yes.
That start doing something small.
Yeah.
Gradually, you'll get there. And please, Ernest, loop us into purpose. Why sometimes you may not wait for a perfect opportunity, please.
Interesting. I like the idea that we gave of the idea of the hammer.
Yes.
Sometimes people end up, nailing a lot of things before they actually figure out, there's a mallet,
yes,
form of a hammer.
Yes.
But there's a normal one that has, it can also...
The claw,
yeah,
for removing the nails.
Yeah, nails, you see. So you can just be a hammer, but variety. You could be doing, different purposes.
Yes. But
by the end of the day, most individuals, when they are thinking purpose, forget, you don't have to say, true north is a direction. You may not have, human beings are not like chairs.
Yes.
Who it's just to sit. The purpose of the chair is to sit.
Yes.
Can I sleep on it? Yes, but the goal idea is to sleep. It was made from structure.
True.
Most individuals may have in the same idea of purpose a couple of other things that they can do. Like, we usually say, as coaches, I get to do a lot of, training. I can coach. I can facilitate a conversation. I can do a keynote speaking.
Yes.
Those are things, but they are within my purpose. There's a message I want, but I can use diverse methods of getting there. Wow. So there's a single purpose of this, what I need to communicate, but there's other ways in which I can be able to do it. Most people sometimes are caught up in the methods.
Yes.
And they forget the main reason, like,
wow.
this is why I am trying to do this. So we like to tell individuals to remember, you can stick yourself to a method. Like, Mimi, my calling is just young people. But in young people, they have 50 challenges. So what are you called to do? I'm supposed to help them. So we have macro idea around purpose, but very specific, different tasks that you can do.
Yes.
Because I find sometimes people will say, I don't think I'm in my purpose because I am not like talking to young people on relationships like you do. So they begin to disqualify themselves because they don't have a unique, specific thing they are doing. Sometimes I actually say, even if you don't know what's the end goal, are you in the direction?
Okay.
You're headed towards, achieving something.
Yes.
Because sometimes some of these things you discover on the go. When a perfect example, when Jesus came, he said he came to seek and save the lost.
Yes.
But he was healing. So how does healing fit in the context of purpose?
Yes.
You see, because people are lost, save them, whether they are sick or not.
Yes.
But you see, there are many other things you get to do in the journey. Build relationships, do this. But all of them are channeling towards the direction of this very specific thing.
Wow.
I find that a bit freeing for individuals who cannot say accurately, this is specifically what I'm called to do. But they're able to say, at least within the general idea of what I do,
yes.
These are specific things. Like for me, I say my purpose is very simple. My vision is to help individuals on the area of their success, leadership, legacy. But you see, success is a very big one. But as long as I see people individually or organizationally or in their business tended towards the direction they call success, then I am achieving.
Wow.
And so there's a mutual benefit. So that I'm not stuck. I'm saying it has to be legacy, and it has to be legacy in finance. Wow. You see, because then I'm too stuck. I can't even enjoy the variety that can come with it. Yes.
I think you've really expressed yourself very well, but I wanted to hear what Bikindo has to say. As we take that loose ball from Ernest, he's talked about two issues that have resonated with me. He has talked about being in motion. Okay, so kindly tell us what motion, because sometimes you can be motion but in the wrong direction. Okay, so I want you to talk about that. And also the other thing I wanted you to talk about, he mentioned about some people are very methodological. They follow a certain pattern and they can be very hard on themselves, especially when it doesn't flow as they had anticipated. Kindly indulge us.
All right. So I'll just start with what also connect with what Ernest said about the methods, because also for me that is really something that is really I found exciting.
Yes.
So you are in the process, but we don't take time off to see ourselves doing that.
Wow.
It's like you are in so it's like you're in a cinema.
Yes.
Right? Are you able to see yourself doing something? Because that's remove yourself, the true self of who you are, and see what you're doing, and realize all these processes you're doing, all this experience, all these methods you're using are just experiences.
Yes.
Right? And what is important is that key lifetime goal or purpose that you have in life. So, yes, it's okay to go. Because again, we have to go through different experiences, emotions like that. And why also we are here is that how do you stop and audit and reflect where you are? And this doesn't need to happen at the end of the year. You know, it's something that needs to happen constantly.
Yes.
Where you are able to, even when let me take an example. Let's say this year you started by saying, I usually get triggered a lot and I get angry because I get triggered maybe at work or in my family, whatever space you might be in.
Yes.
So you promise yourself you're going to work on that.
Yes.
And then at the end of the year, you realize, man, that didn't happen.
Yes. The year is almost
the year didn't happen,
Yes.
But it's because when you were angry, we didn't take time to check yourself like, wow, what really triggered me? You're able to entangle yourself from other experience.
True.
Right? But for us, rather we're so much involved in the experience, which is okay, but are we able to step out from the experience and look at it like a movie and say, actually, I can replay that movie in my because our mind is a movie theater.
Very photographic.
Yeah, we remember, Ernest really made me angry.
Yes.
Am I able to check that experience, reflect on it and say, there's something that maybe I misunderstood what he said. It's not something, because always it's about other, when something's not going right, it's about the other person, right? It's so very easy to go.
Let me interject you, sorry, not really to interject, but I wanted to, what has been your experience when handling the two divides of gender?
Yeah.
Do you find a certain characteristic in that dimension you're talking about when you're dealing with men against when you're dealing with women?
Of course, definitely. I mean, we are wired differently.
Yes.
Men and women.
Yes.
Now we look at things, we perceive things very different. And also even for men themselves, even for particular gender like men, how we experience life is very different.
Okay.
Right? It's not similar. There might be similarities, but it's very different.
Yes.
So, but you find for us, because of we've had that from long time ago, from the time of our formation,
Yes.
From the time of our ancestors, it's the thing of we have to be, like we are machines. You have to work, right?
Yes.
You have to provide.
Yes.
Right? But also in terms of if, and sometimes we don't take the time to be able to assess what are we really, does it give me more value? What I'm doing, does it, is the strategies I'm using, are they taking me farther from where I want to go or nearer?
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And also to be flexible in dropping this is not working. And that's okay. I don't really to die with my, with my strategy or my tool.
Yes.
But rather in terms
Yes.
of, if it's the hammer or the phone, you can replace it.
Yes.
But provide it's the end picture, it's the end goal. What do you really want to achieve? What is that thing that you are living to accomplish in your life?
Yes.
Right? So you can, so those I'll call the experiences. Some of them might be distractions, right? So they distract you.
Yes.
And I think sometimes I think maybe it's deliberate, like they happen in our life that way. We have this kind of, so it's like you're going on a journey. Allow me to say this, Ernest, because we talked about purpose and execution.
Yes.
You're going on a journey. So you're going to Mombasa, and then let's say we were actually not taking a bus, even not a plane. We are driving. So we get somewhere. Let's say. We get it at Sultan and say, hey, this place looks really nice. I hear there's some nice choma here. So you stop there and the choma is really nice. You wait for it to be ready. You enjoy it.
Yes.
And then you forget where you are going. That was just, for me, that was a signpost, for you, experience that moment, but get back to it.
Get back to the track. Unfortunately, currently, right now, as we are speaking, the road is flooded, so we may not enjoy the nyama choma. So honest, but we get the point. That the point is that along the way, you may find those signposts, but remain focused on your end game. And there's something he's just introduced that he's mentioned something very interesting, Ernest. I wanted you to pick it up from there and just bring us to speed. Sometimes he said, when you pick a certain task and you find it's not working, let's say we said we can always do evaluation even mid of the year, not necessarily at the end of the year. So you find it's not working. And how has been your experience been, especially dealing with men, when you want to tell them, oh, guess what, man, this is not working. Can you either style up, change, adjust, or do away with it? Please. Engage us.
So I actually totally like that, and that aligns with execution coaching, because individuals make goals at the beginning of the year. So let's say, for example, someone said, I want to make $1 million. Okay, and they have business goals, they have strategies of how they'll do. They have these 3 business lines that they are going to work on, and each will give them.
Yes.
So midway or quarter way, they don't sit down and evaluate, did it help me? So I have a quote I like. You see, if the horse is dead, dismount.
Wow.
You can't ride a dead horse. There are things and it's practical evidence. Over time, this thing is not working. So if you have explored and tried to figure out how to make it work, but it's very clear it's a dead end, you don't hit through dead ends. You just do a U-turn. You say, okay, fine, try it. At least I know one way of not doing things.
Yes.
Okay. The guy who made the light bulb, if he was stuck only on 0.500, and say 500 examinations, so this thing will never work. I just figured out 1,000 ways of not doing it or not having the right component. But he continued. But if you're stuck on wood, so how do I make wood light, and wood will never light. It will only burn.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, and you're stuck on that. So, so we say individuals to be able to say, and that's maybe why coaches are important, because you need an external perspective into this thing is not working individually. You've tried it different ways. It has hit a dead end. And that could be a relationship. You know, for men, it could just be work, a business line, or a profession. I'm always performing the list, and this thing is not working. I've done everything there is to do. I've been on reviews. I've been given wisdom on how to do. Maybe it is time for you to dismount and get into something that you can actually do.
Wow.
Because if you're not doing that, if you just stuck on something, I mean, you don't stay knocking on a door that is closed. It's not functioning. There's no results. There's no fulfillment. You're not enjoying that. So in the area of purpose, if certain things are not aligning to you feeling good about it,
yes,
or you're able to utilize your strengths to do something, maybe that's actually aligned to actually change. And you don't have to be apologetic about changing, because by the end of the day, it's your life. Yeah. So being able to say, this horse is definitely
dead horse, you dismount.
Yes, just dismount, get into another horse, or try it out, make sure. And life is actually like that. And you see, you're able to say, at least experientially, I know this doesn't work, or this worked very well. And I tell people, just check your failures and successes. It will tell you around the direction you need to go. Because you can't always be a zero on something and then you say, my purpose is in our line. No, the way we are made, things must align. In the area I'm supposed to be good at, there must be things that are making me good at it.
Wow.
And stick to that. Yes.
I think I'm also getting something from there, because sometimes you can be so passionate about something and all the indicators are showing otherwise, yeah? But as you dismount on the dead horse, Bikindo, please tell us, because we are in this space right now of a generation is at the slightest opportunity, they want to jump out. Yeah. So we need also to get a balance, isn't it?
Yes.
Because when we listen to Ernest, he's saying, you jump, this is a dead horse.
Yeah.
Now talk to people who are at the slightest provocation, they're willing to jump ship.
Yeah. You know, usually what there's something I normally say, you know, for success has no, you know, it doesn't need to explain itself. It's just visible there.
Yes.
But for excuses, a lot of stories. You know, this didn't happen because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes.
And there's also that. So there's also that aspect of ego. Yeah, you know, when Ernest was speaking. So because you're asking about the balance, yeah.
Yes.
So it's just, of course, you have to create a certain habit or a certain method that enables you to get where you want to go.
Yes.
But also to acknowledge that if someone, let's say, comes and says, hey, Jimmy, this is not going correct. I mean, I'm just noticing this is not going well for you because you shared with me your idea,
yes,
or where you wanted to go. So it's to be willing to listen, and because someone else has tipped you or reminded you, you need to maybe be focused, or maybe you need to reevaluate.
Yes.
And if you are really, because if you are really going to listen so much to your ego, it's going to, you know, like, why is Jimmy telling me to change? Or this is not working, you know?
Yes, yes.
So it starts a kind of a conflict within you.
Yes.
Yeah. As opposed to now realizing, yeah, you know, you become, I mean, you're open to learning. Like,
yes,
I may not have all the answers, right? Someone else might see something different. Yeah? And that's why he mentioned we need coaches, because they can be able to share with you what you need in your, where you're going, and what you need to change, right?
Yes.
So they offer like a guide, help you to become aware of where you are and where you need to go, right? Because sometimes, like, remember what I mentioned earlier on, was sometimes what we need is to be disassociate ourselves from what we are doing.
The process.
So the process.
Yes.
But it's not easy to do that always.
Yes,
so that's why we need other people to remind external,
yes,
and coaches, other people to be able to remind us, even accountability partners, to tell us, hey, this is, and for us to be willing to say, okay, if you've seen it, because I didn't see it, but if you've seen it, then it means there must be something. It's like feedback.
True.
Something has to shift, something has to change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, something has to give ground.
Yes.
Wow.
And maybe to make mention something there.
I think Bikindo did not address the matter that I had asked me. But anyway, I was asking him to talk to people who are jumping very fast.
Yes.
Yeah, but he continued supporting your idea. But anyway, please take it on.
I did actually. I talked about creating a certain consistency habit.
Oh, yeah. I get it.
In fact, that's what I want to add on. You see, you don't become an expert in something
True.
by inconsistently doing it.
Okay.
you learn the ropes. Like, I am sure you wake up every morning and you brush your teeth.
Yes.
You have done this for so long, you just have, the goal is clean teeth. But if I ask you the process, so I usually start going up, and then I go down, and then I change. You may not be able to. But you see, the fact that you have been doing it for a long time makes it a habit. So we tell people, in developing and getting to your purpose and meaning, there are certain things you have to keep on doing. So we actually say action, not reaction.
Yes.
Action, reflecting, improvement. And you keep doing specific things that are going to help you get there.
True.
Alongside, you realize, I'm having more success here, which means that is working. You continue doing those things that you're doing very well. You realize this thing is not working. To just make it practical, let me give an example with a leader I was working with. I was coaching a leader who was very good with people, but very bad with process. But their management position is requiring them to always make sure they are in processes. Okay. Managing things. So they're like, after that they realized, I do better with people. So, but he was stuck because my role is requiring 50% is process, 50% is people. I'm enjoying people. So I said, this was very simple. So keep doing what do you do well in process, and where do you get stuck? Since you are good in relationships, can you have individuals who are good that you're relating with to help you with your process? Because by the end of the day, it's a real role that you need to play. Wow. By the end of the day, because of just that structure, that's where the element of accountability, the element, I am noticing I am struggling with this, but there's someone who's good, teamwork is working, you have accountability, you have support, then this gets done. Whether it is a job that is, it's part of your purpose, or a business, or even your own individual life. Just, I think getting some of those things aligned really usually helps.
Wow. I want to demystify this conversation because, it may look as if you're having a coaching session, but I'm loving, I'm loving the conversation, especially with the depth that you're coming with. But I wanted us also to embrace also the fact that before we get there and we talk to this, we are talking to men, and trying to tell them, look, guys, refocus your energies, sharpen your consistency, okay? Do it over and over until you feel a place that I'm getting it, isn't it? And when you get a feedback from somebody and tells you, you may need to readjust, please listen to them, isn't it? Yeah, so our viewers, we are doing a coaching session at the same time, talking to you guys so that you may improve your lives and also that they may also get a sense of direction, isn't it? Right, yeah. And I think we can say too much sometimes, but we must not lose the person. Yes. Because at the end of it all is, what is your contribution to this world or this conversation, yeah? And I want to throw it to Bikindo because I think we were talking with him and saying about the greatest resource we have is people. And also the greatest need we can go and meet outside is for people. Okay? Please mention on that about the needs that people need to go out and meet as we wind up for the short break. Please, and indulge us for 1 minute, please. All right. So, so in terms of you've mentioned very well in terms of people, and people themselves are actually a resource, right? But also how we are created. We have so many needs and wants in our life. True. Yeah, that sometimes we think define what we want, right? But in terms of if you're able to connect that kind of wants and needs to really, if you allow me to connect with the aspect of reflecting at the beginning of the year. Yes. Right? So when you go ahead and set out what you need to do, really need to check how does it feel for you, right? Not regardless of everyone else. Yes. What other people's needs are. Yes. Some might be very similar, but for you yourself, what is really, how does it feel when you say, if you use the example where Ernest mentioned, this year I'm going to make $1 million. Yeah. Hold on that thought. This year I'm going to make $1 million. Let's take a small break. We'll come back and Bikindo will tell us how he's going to coach us to make $1 million. Thank you.
Life Church International warmly invites you to the Convergence Family Camp meeting at Maasai Group of Schools, Karen, from December 5th to 8th, 2023. Featuring esteemed ministers including Apostle David Juma and Pastor Sunta Juma, the LCI apostolic leaders.
Apostles in the Bible, their first thing and responsibility was to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and evangelize the world.
Live with all my heart. As we are engaging here, something is being stirred up within your spirit.
Apostle Patrick Morethi of GCC Kayole.
But Jesus says, the anointing that you need to deal with blindness, it is the same anointing you need to deal with poverty.
Timongi of LCI Limuru.
Bible says, oh Timothy, the faith that was in your grandmother, the faith that was in your mother is the very faith that I've seen in you.
Prophet Paul Moneki of GCCI Zion City.
But a shout of God, born of God.
Evangelist John T. L. Mashbach of Netherlands.
I called to the Lord and he answered me.
Music that uplifts your spirit, brought to you by the Convergence Sound. Sheila Juma. Will also be workshops and seminars. Our theme, the Spirit and the Bride, inspired by Revelation 22:17. Secure your spot for this enriching experience with a registration fee of 1,500 Kenyan shillings for adults and 1,000 Kenyan shillings for teens and children via M-Pesa till number 572-671. For more information, call Collins on 0711 975 882 or Joseph on 0791 173 710. We look forward to seeing you there.
Yes!
Welcome back, viewers, to our second part of the conversation. We've had a very heated conversation here with these great coaches, Bikindo and Ernest. They are really dissecting this matter with a lot of precision. And I'm liking the conversation. But before we went for the break, I was engaging you, Coach Bikindo, on why people need to focus about impacting other people besides only achieving something for their own self-satisfaction.
First of all, for me, I'm a great believer in terms of self. Yeah?
True.
So you'll not be able to impact other people if you don't impact yourself.
Agreed.
Right? So once you understand yourself, once you're able to know who you are, then you can be able now to reach out and support others, right? Because also you will be at the level whereby you can be able to support others, hold forth, be able to achieve their goals,
yes,
to be able to do what they want, and to be able to help them be accountable. But having said that, in terms of if we look at our world the way it is, it has so many needs. Yeah?
True.
Yeah, so many needs and a lot of things that are happening. Even we will not even have time to speak about them, about everything.
Yes.
But rather in terms of for you, once you understand what is really, really important for you and how you feel about it, it's how you are able now to connect with people who have similar interests. That would be for me the first step.
Yes.
And then you can be able to start impacting them as you go along. Because impacting does not mean, for me, impact doesn't mean multitudes of people.
True.
But impacting means one person at a time.
True.
The person that you meet, the person you interact with, maybe in the office, wherever you are,
yes,
at home, wherever it is,
yes,
you're impacting those kind of people. And also you can offer, because coaching is not really it's not really a specialty somewhere.
Yes.
But everyone actually does coaching, because coaching is basically asking questions.
Yes.
Good questions that can help people to create, to see their problems broadly, and to see different options for their challenges.
Yes.
So when you even ask at home, because sometimes you get this challenge even alone at home, and I ask people I know, I ask a question, they ask, why are you coaching me?
Yes.
I'm just asking, right?
Yeah, they want to demarcate.
Yes, I'm just checking,
Yes.
because also when coaches are used to asking questions.
Yes.
So that's how we can be able to impact other people, one person at a time. And then, of course, in the different platforms that we have, we're able to reach out to people and support them where we are. And sometimes it can be deliberate or intentional or not intentional, supporting, because that's how we are carved.
Yes.
Because once you're clear, then you become, again, what I said earlier, a lighthouse for other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I like it. that you'll become now a lighthouse to other people,
Yeah.
and they can draw some energy from you and draw some encouragement from you.
Yeah.
Wow. I think the bottom line is service to humanity. And you said, which I agree totally with, that you must start with yourself, the internal. And once you sorted out with the internal, now you can go to the other people, isn't it?
Yes.
You can't start from outside.
No, you can't start. And allow me to, because you talked about even service for humanity,
Yes.
that kind of connection, is to know why I emphasize on the self, is because what other people go through is what I go through.
Yes.
All of us go through.
Yes.
So if someone has gone through suffering, we understand what is suffering.
True.
So we suffer the same. You know, we go through the same. We lose someone, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
So we have the same. So when we serve, it's from that understanding.
True.
That we are not that we are experts sitting here.
Yes.
But rather we are just as similar to the whole humanity, regardless of color, religion, race. We feel the same. We go through the same. But rather we can be able to say, hey, can I share a cup of water because this is what I went through?
True.
You know, like, and let's have a conversation about it. Yeah.
Wow, lovely. And I will bring on board Brother Ernest because he's an execution coach. Yeah?
Yeah.
And ask him a very personal question. And you've just mentioned here that sometimes you may not have all your act together.
Yes.
Even as a coach, you're trying to guide somebody, but you not put everything in order. Yeah? Ernest, have you been into a situation that sometimes you feel that you also need to do something in regard to a certain matter that you have not closed off well, and you feel that I'm pushing this person to achieve a certain matter, yet I have an unfinished business in some areas. How do you reconcile the two?
Okay.
Yes.
Two ways to process that. Individuals are on a growth journey. Everyone is journeying.
Yes.
So I make a joke. I say, so my perspective around coaching, mentoring, and journeying with people is we are living in Nairobi. We are going to Thika.
Yes.
I may be in Juja. You may be in Githurai.
Yes.
But we're going the same direction. Have I arrived at my journey? No. But over time, I have learned how to journey.
Yes.
And as I'm journeying, I'm learning certain lessons and certain ways that helps me to be able to get to my journey faster.
Yes.
So it is possible for me to be able to bring people along and say, so how have I made it? In that say, for example, I am trying to develop my own, personal, finance,
Yes.
for example. And there's someone they want help in their finance.
Yes.
It is possible that I may have gone a few steps ahead or I know strategies that work.
Yes.
Okay. So as I am applying my own life, I am able to bring them along. Have I accomplished and reached? Not really. But at least I am clear on what needs to be done. And I think the idea also of coaching here or mentoring is I have a bit of information that allows me to carve more strategic decisions in hitting my goals.
Wow.
So as I'm bringing this person along, am I on the journey 100%? Am I facing the same struggles that humans do? 100%.
Yes.
But the beauty is, I'm steps ahead, or I know how to do it. And also, sometimes it's even not based on experiences, it is also based on strengths. I get to coach leaders.
Yes.
And as I'm coaching them, it doesn't mean I have resolved all the issues that I'm dealing with as a leader.
Yes.
But because I have a bit of experience, and I'm also competent in terms of learned, in terms of experience, in terms of strategic, I can be able to solve my leadership issues. But I may have someone who's struggling like I am, but they do not have a way of dealing with the issues. So I'm able to impact and input into their lives to get to the space that I am. Without struggle.
Yes.
What I like, for example, I like to say, and one of the reasons why maybe that is valuable, think of a tree. A tree has fruits.
Yes.
There are individuals like us who are not trees, we are animals. In this way, an animal will give meat and give milk. For example, a cow. Okay?
Yes.
The individuals who come into your lives and they can give an addition of their own lives, in terms of milk.
Yes.
They don't kill themselves in terms of their purpose, but they are able to, give something. Like the way someone will say, I'm going to support children who are unwell. Okay? It doesn't mean they're giving their lives, but some of us maybe that's actually what I do as my purpose. I actually give my whole life, time, everything to do this. So depending on what you are and where you are in your journey, you can be able to add value.
Wow.
Because sometimes I find individuals who feel bad that they are not giving their lives, but their fruits is what people are looking for.
Wow.
So their contribution is that mango. So they continue to do their own life, but they keep giving. They may not give their trunk, but they'll give their. So depending on where you are in your journey, in purpose, you get to give what you are able to do or what you've discovered. Yes.
Wow, that's very profound. And I think I am getting a lot of inspiration in that, because at times in life, Bikindo, because I want to loop you in this conversation, is that you have figured out where you want to go. And sometimes you will be too much. You see, like for example, when it's raining and the windscreen is just very, very poor visibility, but you are on track.
Yeah.
Okay? You're on track, but there's a heavy downpour. And sometimes you use the tail lights of other vehicles to be able to get to your destination, because the visibility is not very clear. So I want us to hear, because sometimes in life, even as much as you have figured out where you want to go, you'll encounter some setbacks. How do you navigate these setbacks while maintaining the sense of purpose and meaningfulness?
We need to ground ourselves on purpose and realize it's timeless. Yeah, so it's not something that you need to finish tomorrow.
Okay.
It's something that actually outlives you, right? And there'll be many distractions, of course, definitely, right? But those are just maybe to remind us to change the strategies that enable us to get to our purpose. But also, it's so having that kind of consistency when you're working towards your purpose enables you to overcome any challenge that comes your way. Because there'll be distractions, there'll be failures, even some instances. Yes. So you said maybe 5 strategies to get where you want to go. Purpose is, I mean, like I said, it's timeless.
Timeless, yes.
So it needs to outlive you, but also how to get there. That's the thing. So to enjoy the experience.
Yes.
Because there'll be many things, experiences, which will be failures, successes, or other distractions that will come along the way. Is to be aware about them, but to realize also how they're impacting how you go about achieving your purpose. Yeah?
Yes.
So it's having that consistency. You know, like you create a habit. If it's something that you want to do and you really want to do, sometimes we want to live a purposeful life, but it's because it's maybe the most selling thing, the most interesting thing at the moment. Everyone's talking about it, but you're not really committed to it.
Yes.
You just want to have it like I'm checking boxes,
a certain box, yes.
But you know, I have a purpose of what I want to do in my life. I'm very clear. But the process now to go through it is like baptism by fire, if I may say. Yeah.
And maybe to add there, so I get to help individuals to develop roadmaps.
Yes.
And so I like the idea of an overarching idea where purpose is not just a spot or a place, but something that I get to do over time. What Jesus said, you know, I've come to give life and life in abundance.
Yes.
Okay? Great idea. But then how did he do that? Now we come now into the nitty-gritties. So I usually tell individuals who struggle, so there is the beginning, where you're like there's a spot where you actually start doing what you call purpose. But what you need to be checking is more process and progress. Process is, what experiences am I getting? Progress is, am I making mental pictures? Like, for example, if I say, we're going to Nanyuki.
Yes.
We're going to hit, if we're living in Nairobi, we're going to hit Thika. At some point, we're going to hit Sagana. At some point, we're going to hit Karatina and Nanyuki.
Yes.
So those are 4 markers that can tell me, am I headed there?
True.
So I should be able to enjoy the experiences. I can do some nyama. But remember, where am I? So like every year, guys say make goals. So you say, that's why it's check monthly, check quarterly. Are you where you need to be? What are you learning?
Yes.
How can what you are learning help you improve? How can you create a better experience from where? So that you stop becoming someone who's like, I'm just there. I just deliver fruits. So what is fruits? It needs to be something like, I deliver mangoes or oranges or something like that.
Yes.
That's my giving to the world. Whether I am doing it part-time or full-time.
Yes.
But by the end of the day, if you're recognizing process and progress, you're able to get there faster because you are aware. But some people just live like, say, one day, I'm going to get there. Or just one day, I am going to make a difference.
Yes.
But it never gets there. Why? They are not able to assess on the go what they are really doing.
Wow. I think you've said something very instrumental, because life is a journey, as we said, and we said it's not from one loop A to B. There are sometimes some detours here and there, yeah? And I totally agree with you. But now, Bikindo, if I may throw back the question to you, and ask you, because now we have found that in order for you to live a meaningful and a purposeful life, then you must come out clearly so that we know Bikindo, his main area of proficiency is this area. We don't want to be across many sectors, isn't it? As much as we know people can be multi-talented, but don't you think it's important for somebody to be known for one thing, and that one thing? Like, for example, the way you know there's a safari rally driver. He does not just drive matatus. He's a safari rally driver. Please engage us about that.
Okay, so I'll say two things about it. It's, I mean, people are nowadays, even like the generation now, they are multi-talented.
Yes.
Yeah? And there are people even previous generation that are multi-talented. And it has been hammered to us all the time, do one thing and do it very well. Okay. So that's okay. You can do it, yeah? But once you master that, you can be able to now to diversify.
Okay.
Right? You can be able to diversify that. Because if you look at other people, how they're able to, because sometimes we don't need to look for resources very far.
Okay.
We observe. And observing is the best kind of, for me, schooling that you can ever get in life. So you observe what's happening in your world and you make a decision, how do I want to go about a certain purpose, a certain goal that you have in life. But you need to really make it work. Like, you don't sit there. Let's say you want to be a great farmer. You wake up early in the morning and you look at your farm, you know, very fertile, and say, you're going to be a successful farmer, and you're doing nothing really, you know. They're following it like that. Yet your neighbor has taken the first step.
True.
So they know very well, this is what I'm able to do. Maybe it's to till the land, to weed the land. So once you do that, you're able to achieve or to become a successful farmer.
Yes.
And a successful farmer does not come out because of harvesting. There are many other steps. They realize, maybe I just need to focus on adding value to my produce.
Yes.
So you realize, there's a connection like that. But bottom line is to do, again, because I think we emphasize this so much, consistency, doing one thing very well. And that takes you to the step. Even when you achieve what you set to do, you might not even realize it. You're even beyond. And something else has been given birth to.
Yes.
You know, a new idea. Maybe you decided, now I'm not going to farm. I'm actually going to put farmers together, and they're going to I'm going to collect the produce. I'm going to aggregate it. I'm going to add value and distribute it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I think what the bottom line you're trying to say is that let people identify gaps that they can function in and fill them and become the best in that area, isn't it?
Precisely, yeah.
And gradually learn other things because they have the capacity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or Ernest, what would you like to say?
Yeah.
Purpose is the idea of there's a need you're meeting that people have.
Yes.
You're like that tree, you have fruits. So when you have fruits, you provide those fruits. So sometimes you'll face challenges because people will come, you know, the wind will come and blow.
Yes.
Sometimes there's no enough water.
Yes.
But by the end of the day, you are pushing the fruit, making sure that you're serving that nice fruit, that flavor to the world. Yes.
I think now that you have mentioned about farming, we'll digress to the conversation because I love talking about farming. I'm not a farmer, but there's something that captured my attention. Because don't you feel, as a coach now, I feel that probably we are still talking about purposeful and meaningful living.
Yeah.
Don't you feel that we have invited too much quirks in areas of profession that they do not have competent information, okay, to be able to pursue a certain matter to the end, okay? So engage me in this dimension, Bikindo.
Yeah.
Not only in farming, we are in a society that really praises a lot of apprenticeship and a lot of juakali, so may to call it.
Yeah.
But as a country and as a people, are we drawing the best from these people, or they are going to these places because of desperation? Are people going to farming because of desperation? Because some people could be probably wired not to be in the farms.
Yeah.
But we are saying now we are a hustling nation, or we are a nation that looks for every opportunity everywhere. And then at the end of it, Bikindo, people indulge in careers or in areas that they're not proficient in. Please talk to us from the two spaces of a farmer and as a coach.
Wow. So in terms of, maybe I don't have a specific answer to that, but what I can say is, maybe I'll call it, what came to my mind is this title, Pursuit of Livelihood. Yeah?
Yes.
So because man seeks meaning all the time in their life, yeah? And there's so much information that is available everywhere. So, and also with what is happening around the world right now, a lot of men get dissatisfied, dissatisfied with their work. Mostly because maybe they are very passionate about it, or maybe someone inspired them to be passionate about it, and then realize, I'm not really good at this, yeah? So what do? So this information that is available everywhere, from the social channels to the friends that you hang out with, yeah? There's so much information. So you pursue based on what you've had, and this is where discernment is important for you. So, and for every man, how do you discern the information? You know, why are you doing it? Yeah, for what purpose? You know, where is it going to place you? Right? Then so discernment is like a sieve. I listen to a lot. Just the same way you can, like, I want to be a farmer, you research everything, you talk to people, but at the end of the day, you have to make the decision yourself. Based on the information, how you're able to analyze all that information. Unfortunately, our mind is not now like artificial intelligence,
yes,
which can be able to do that very fast.
Yes.
But it can take a while. It can take months.
Okay.
But because of that aspect of purpose, meaning of life, and which is very broad. It doesn't mean necessarily it has to be livelihood. It's other things. It's a relationship, it's freedom, it's happiness, you know. But there's some areas that have been given so much emphasis,
okay,
you know, for the best reasons which are known to all of us. So in terms of you, this is an agricultural country. It provides, like we say, 50% or whatever percentage provides food, but also, funny enough, Jimmy, people who produce food. Do you know the poorest people in the world?
They're the poorest?
The poorest people in the world.
Okay, tell me.
They are farmers.
Okay. Wow, why would you say that?
So they produce,
yes,
farmers, but they don't have a connection to the market
end product,
right?
Okay.
So they sell them to middlemen who can be able to sell it. So you find a farmer toiling, and you will see their life has not really transformed. Yeah, they do what they need to do every time. They are not even.
So are they doing it in desperation?
Maybe, probably.
Can people find themselves in purposes because of desperation, and then they are pushing it, and they end up even being more frustrated?
That's possible, and that's why I said, like, how do you feel when you decide that you say this is your purpose? How does it feel for you? Yeah, and then you are able to peel,
yes,
and peel yourself until you really do it. Not because other people, this is what he's selling right now.
Yes,
because I see someone selling tomato on the street, I'm going to sell mine tomorrow.
Okay.
But rather in terms of what are you called to do?
Yes.
Everyone has a contribution.
Yes.
All of us are not going to be farmers. All of us are not going to be business people.
True.
But all these vocations, they contribute for human destiny,
True.
what we are supposed
True.
to do.
Yes.
And then we see value in terms of how our purposes interconnect. Because at the end of the day, our purpose as human beings is one.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But this what we are doing contributes. Yeah, okay. So if Ernest brings his purpose, Jimmy brings a purpose, Bikindo brings his purpose, together, then there's a bigger purpose, or in the world.
Of making the world a better place.
Yes.
And living our livelihood.
Precisely. Yeah.
And as we end on that note, because Ernest, I want to engage Ernest as an execution coach, because he may have encountered people, or in situations of his experience, that, for example, people, and I will reiterate that point again about farming, because there's something I'm driving at, yeah? And I want to hear it from him, that when people are so persuaded about a matter, don't they also need to equip themselves fully with this information, so that they don't behave like quacks? Because I'm looking at it, Ernest, you're going to an operating room, and the doctor is telling you he's doing it, he's been Googling and researching, and he wants to do his procedure with you. I think, please talk to such people, because I'm feeling if we don't take this opportunity to tell people to educate themselves in some areas, they will be pushing vocations or careers that require them to probably do some more study. Please engage us.
And we say it's important. In fact, we actually say, using the example of Jesus, when he realized he's come to give life and life in abundance, we see him when he's very young, spending time with the who is who, theologians of the day, asking questions, figuring. So there's actually a season of learning so that you can actually be good enough. So you say passion is good, because passion helps you in terms of moving when you have challenges, but competence is something else. You see, a child may know how to, a 2-year-old may know it is very important to tie a shoe or to do a knot, but they may not know how to do it. But if they are going to be able to walk well, they have to learn how is that thing done. So we say to tell individuals, it's nice to be passionate about what you want to do. You want to become a doctor, a lawyer, a whoever. I mean, we've had stories of guys who've even, solved cases, but they were unlearned, And we've had doctors who went 30% to school and now they're operating. And even with success. Question is this: just because you love it, does it mean that you're able to do it?
Okay.
We need to be able as individuals to say we need to invest in ourselves so that we can, and the idea of learning here is getting enough wisdom on how best to do it so that you can be able to do this thing you love so much in the best way that no one can repeat. That is our responsibility, and it's something you cannot pass to people. The problem is sometimes you're so passionate, you jump and start to do it before you actually experience in doing it. And so you end up actually making more messes because your passion is actually not the only thing that is required.
Wow.
There needs to be very good results out of what you do because you love to do it.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Anything you'd like to add, Mr. Bikindo?
No, I'll say passion is like fuel. So imagine like you're speaking, it's like you have a car. So if you do not have a fuel, you not go far. So you need to have that experience of what you need to do.
Yes.
So that you can be able to now pump in the passion. Yeah, because passion, it's what do you call it? It's going to fuel you to wherever you want to go. Wherever once you've identified what you need to do, where you want to go, what your purpose is, then you can be able to ignite it with that fuel.
Yes.
Otherwise, it will be, expounded differently in life. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Great conversation here. I have really benefited from your wisdom and the wealth of knowledge that you are bringing on board. And we are so humbled that this was coming live, and especially at such a time, especially when we are about to end the year. It's been great having you guys. I want to request Ernest to give us a closing remark as we call it a lap.
Okay, so purpose and meaning. Every one of us have something that you're supposed to contribute to our world. And it is within your strengths, it is within your talents. I mean, there's something you're here for. Otherwise, you would have been born in 1666. And because you're here now, figure what that is. You begin to explore life experiences until you actually deliver. Because there's a need you're supposed to solve, and someone is suffering because you're not discovering it, or you don't know it. So learn it, grow it, become better, get learned, and then fulfill that purpose. It will become a blessing to you, a lot of fulfillment, but also transformation.
Wow, great closing remark. Our brother Bikindo.
So what I would say is immerse yourself in the experiences. Sometimes you don't need to figure it out in the beginning, but rather be open to the possibilities of your experiences and take stock of that, and then use that now to create a sort of formula of where you want to go. Because without your experiences, we are made up of our experiences, our challenges, our successes. If you can use all that, we can be able to pinpoint what is really what is really our purpose in life.
Wow, great, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time. It's been great having you around, and we have really enjoyed the conversation. Viewers, this was Man Unveiled. My name is James Ireri. I can only leave you with those words Ernest have said. If you are not important, you would have been born in 1666. Yes. But look, here we are in the 21st century. Yeah. Make yourself useful, make yourself intentional, and go for it, because the world is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. God bless you. Till next time, thank you.